All right, welcome back. Episode 207 of Chaotically Intolerant. Today is going to be a shorter show. The Red Sox suck. The Orioles suck. It's not good. But before that, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, drop any questions, whatever in the comments. Maybe we'll answer them on the next show. And let's go. All right, Michael. I gotta introduce you as Michael this time, not Mike. I know I call you Mike normally. It's not good. This isn't good. The American League East is bad. They're bad. I mean, the Yankees. We've talked about the Yankees multiple times before. They're not going to keep doing this, right? They just can't keep doing it. Paul Goldschmidt is not going to keep hitting 330 at age 100. And obviously, Aaron Judge is going to do Aaron Judge things, and Max Fried is very good, but the Boston Red Sox were supposed to win the East. That's what I was told. The Baltimore Orioles were supposed to at least go to the playoffs and make a deep run in the playoffs. That's what I was told.
Right.
Neither of those things are happening. What teams, I guess, in the past can you remember that were just this disappointing? This is just disappointing more than anything.
I don't know, the equivalent of the 2011 Eagles in football, the dream team. I'd have to think. I mean, I feel like maybe the Yankees of a couple years ago, 2023, and Judge, I think he was hurt, and they almost had a losing record, and they were coming off a year where they had that insanely good start in 2022. They were like 61-22 or something. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to think about, teams that have underachieved this badly. There was a Nationals team in 2018 who came back, won the World Series the next year. But it's it's bad. It's annoying. You're watching the Yankees win, and it just doesn't feel like they're that good. It doesn't feel like they should be that good. It feels like the Red Sox should be better. It feels like the Orioles should be better despite no pitching, so maybe they shouldn't be better. I mean, the Rays are doing Rays. They're staying in it. Even the Jays are playing decent ball, but it's like you just know those teams aren't going to win enough. They might beat the Yankees. They might split or, go 7-6 against them in the season series, but it's not going to mean anything because they're not going to win the other games they need to.
Yeah, I mean, and it's particularly infuriating because, I mean, I guess as an Orioles fan, you can sit back and say, oh my God, we're so bad, right? Like, we're so bad that you can just kind of throw your hands up and say, fire everyone, right? That's the number one thing you can do is fire everyone. Fire Mike Elias. You already fired the manager, which – I mean, you don't really see GMs get fired too often mid-season. They usually let them finish out the year, see how everything goes. But like the Red Sox, it's particularly infuriating because they're in these games. They are sitting in these games. They are playing these close games. I mean, they're 5-15 or something like that in one-run games now. It's disgusting. They just got swept by the Brewers. They lost 3-2. They lost 5-1 in 10 innings, where a grand slam won the game for the Brewers. So it was 1-1. And then they lose 6-5 in the 10th inning again. I mean, against Baltimore, they lost 2-1 in the doubleheader. They lost 5-1 on Sunday. And then the other two games, they had the Raffy walk-off in game one, and then a 19-5 game in what was supposed to be game one of a doubleheader on Friday. I mean, these games they're staying close. They took 2 or 3 from the Mets, and you can't build on that. And the whole issue was the pitching, right? That was the whole issue with this Red Sox team was the pitching. The offense is fine, right? The offense is perfectly fine. And then you lose Bregman, and now they can't hit the ball. That no one is hitting the baseball right now, and it's just frustrating. And I think there's more Red Sox fans out there that are more doomers than I am. I can still see like this team has a couple good weeks. They go on a good run for a couple weeks. I mean, they're sitting 2.5 games back of the Rays. They're 4.5 games back of Minnesota in the wild card. It's not out of the question for them to just hit that right stride and go. But this is just infuriating to watch because they're just teetering. They're teetering with you. And losing Bregman was, again, the big thing. I mean, I heard someone say that Tristan Casas, losing him was the big deal. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I mean, obviously losing your first baseman and dealing with the Raffy thing, that doesn't help your team at all. But Bregman was kind of the leader. He's a veteran leader. And then the Red Sox sitting here having Trevor Story literally be nothing. He's nothing for this team. And I love Trevor Story. He seems like a really good dude, but he's just a useless bat. Even as a fielder, he's not great right now. And you have a guy in Roman Anthony who's not knocking on the door. As Alex Cora said, he's not knocking on the door. He's breaking the door down, and he's just sitting there in AAA there's no reason for him to be down there anymore. All his buddies are up here. Christian Campbell's up here. Marcelo Meyer's up here now. Why is he sitting down there? The only reason I can assume is some sort of weird contract thing that they're trying to manage.
Yeah, I wish I had an answer, but it seems like they got to start getting some of these young guys in here, at least for next year.
It's turning into just a developmental year. It's just, hey, just go and develop for the rest of the year. Go get used to playing in the big leagues for the rest of the year. I mean, this team was MLB.com picked them to win the American League at least. This is just ridiculous to me. It's very frustrating. I don't know who keeps their job. Clearly, the bullpen was overlooked. And I know I kind of took over the Orioles segment, but we will go back to the Orioles.
There's not much to say with the Orioles.
Yeah, I mean, the Orioles, I think you have said a lot of your piece on the Orioles in past shows, and nothing has really changed with them. But, I mean, you look at this bullpen. The bullpen is completely overworked. And then they go and trade one of their big inning eaters who wasn't half bad for cash to the Athletics. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. And again, the bullpen is completely overworked. They're not making the starters go deeper into games. At some point, you got to tell Brian Bayo and Hunter Dobbins, you're going 5 innings today unless you're hurt. At the end of I don't care what happens. You're going 5 innings today. We have to save the bullpen. Sometimes as a manager, that's what you have to do. You can't be their friends all the time. And that's what it sounds like Alex Cora is trying to be. He's trying to be that father figure to Brian Bayo and say, we're going to take you out. We're going to try and protect your confidence. But you're killing these guys' confidences by taking them out. At 77 pitches, 80-something pitches Brian Bayo had, I think, yesterday or Tuesday, and he was pulled in the 5th inning. He didn't even make it through the 5th inning. I'm sorry. This is just getting absolutely ridiculous. And I am not a fire Alex Cora guy, but it's getting hard to not be able – I mean, it's getting hard to deny some of those people because the issues that have happened that have been coming out, especially with Rafael Devers, should have been kept internal. These things should be internal. They should not be handled out in the media. This is not the Red Sox way. First off, I mean, that's the last real major issue I remember was the Bobby Valentine or the Terry Francona chicken and beer, and maybe Bobby Valentine. Yeah, that's it. I mean, the major national news issues, that was the last one I can really remember. They keep things usually pretty close to the vest, but this is getting ridiculous. This is insane.
Well said.
Yeah. I think they were like 2 games back of the wild card at the beginning of May or something like that. They were right in it with the Yankees in the division race, and now they're 4.5 back out of the wild card, and they're 9.5 back of the Yankees right now. They've lost 5 in a row, while the Yankees have won 5 in a row.
Yeah, that's I don't get it, but somehow the Yankees are getting great performances where they shouldn't be.
Yeah, and then we'll see. They'll shit their pants in October. Don't worry. They'll shit their pants in October. That's what they do. Let's go into some positivity. Who's your team of the month? Who's really just killed it this month?
I mean, I'm going to go Cardinals because the Phillies would be too easy. Just being the Phillies, having the roster they have. I think the Cardinals right now, 18 wins in the month of May. They have continued to play well despite people thinking it's going to fall off. Look, it's only been a third of the season. There's plenty of time for them to fall off. But they're only 2 games back. They're 8 games over 500 if the playoffs started today, which of course they don't. They would be in it. They would be the third, or they're tied for the wild card, the final wild card spot. They've really turned it on. They kind of got off to a nice start, like the first few games of the season, and hit the skids. We forgot about him. But Ali Marmol, I would say, front runner right now for National League Manager of the Year.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going Detroit. This Tiger team, I think we saw it a little last year with they made a little bit of a run to the postseason, and then we saw, okay, maybe they'll compete for the Central. May 29th, they are 6 games up on Cleveland and Minnesota in the Central. They are, I mean, it's never comfortable this early, but they're sitting comfortable in the Central, and that's a big step for this team. I mean, Rick Skubal, 103 on the final pitch of his complete game shutout. Yeah. That's just not fair. That's not fair. You shouldn't be able to do that. As a human being, you shouldn't be able to do that. But he does it anyways. Yeah, this Tiger team, you should be excited. I actually heard this interesting tidbit. I was talking with a guy. He owns an apple orchard up in Michigan. And their business, it's kind of the equivalent to Mattress Mac, what Mattress Mac does with the Astros, where they kind of do Tigers insurance, because their main business is in October. And when the Tigers are good and they win, if they win the American League in October, they lose a lot of business because people don't want to go to the apple orchard. They don't want to go picking. They don't want to do all that stuff. They want to stay inside, watch the Tigers. So a lot of these businesses in Michigan will place bets on the Tigers to win the World Series and say, hey, this is it's very, then they win money if they win the World Series, or, they get money for their business. Either way, very interesting thing that these businesses do. And right now, the apple orchards and the businesses up in Michigan, not going to be a good time. They're not going to have a good time this October if this keeps up.
No, smart. Hedge your bets. I've been doing that for a long time. Hedge them emotionally. Bet on teams you don't like. If they win, you win money. If they don't, you're happy. Everybody wins.
Always bet against your own team.
Right.
It's the best advice I give to anyone. Bet against your own team.
Sure.
I should have bet against the Red Sox. I don't know why. I didn't even bet on the Red Sox to win, but I emotionally bet on the Red Sox this year. And I'm sure you emotionally bet on the Orioles this year.
Well, if I actually physically bet against them, I might be pretty rich.
Yeah. Yeah. What about a player? Who's a player this month that really kind of stuck out to you?
Jacob Wilson. What a great rookie sensation this kid has been. I believe he's now second in the league in hits? No, yeah, second in the league in hits. 73. He's played 53 games. He's the heavy front runner for Rookie of the Year. He's a reason to watch the Sacramento Oakland A's. Looks every bit the part of a great major league shortstop.
Yeah. I think the A's are. It's nice when there's something interesting to root for on that team. Yeah. I mean, like the Colorado Rockies, it's just, again, you just feel sad. It's not even, I understand fans are angry, but it's just sad because, I mean, we've talked about it. There's so many good things about the Rockies just as a franchise. And you would love to see that displayed in October. When the lights are the brightest, you want to see that stuff. And we just don't get to see it. So at least there's something positive to say about the Athletics this month. And then I think we're just going to go through the divisions a little bit real quick. Give our predictions on what's going to happen for each division by the end of the year. We're 2 full months into the season now. This is a good point. Usually June 1st is a good barometer for your team. That's a good time to say, okay, this is kind of what this team is going to look like for the rest of the year. Obviously we see teams hit strides, but that's why you remember those strides, because they don't happen all that often. In the East, I think everything is, I wouldn't, again, I'm not against, or I'm not believing against a Red Sox run late. I think Baltimore, especially firing the manager that early, I think they're seeing it more as a lost season. Would you say?
Yes.
You think that's fair?
I would say they've given up. I think the East right now goes through the Yankees, unfortunately.
I would say, yeah, I don't think you're going to see Tampa Bay or Toronto go on any sort of run to challenge the Yankees. I think the Red Sox are the next closest team to go on that run. Because again, I mean, you look at this team, you look at the great things that they've done this year. They've had a lot of really cool shit. They've done a lot of really championship level things, but they just don't know how to win. They just straight up do not know how to win these games. I mean, I can't even stand watching fans blame a guy like Aroldis Chapman, who, mixed feelings on him as a person, but as a player, he's been great all year. And he had his first blown save the other night against the Brewers, except that we were up 1-0. You shouldn't be consistently asking your bullpen to win games when you're scoring 1, 2, even 3 runs. I think that's, when you're only scoring 3 runs, that's just not acceptable at the major league level. You have to expect teams to score at least 3 runs in a game. And blaming the bullpen on that, you just can't do that. It's definitely the offense. To the Central, anyone we see maybe making a run at Detroit here, is Detroit a little bit of a flash in the pan so far early, or are we going to see this is this going to stay like this?
I think Detroit's very good. I think they're going to win the division. The team I would look at, I never trust the Twins. I have no respect for them. I think Cleveland was good last year, but I just don't see them doing it again. I would say the Royals, if there's one team that maybe could turn it on, because I think they're pitching right now, especially the year Chris Bubic is having. What a revelation he's been in the rotation. Bullpen's been solid. They need a little more offense, but as Bobby Witt goes, they go. And they're an exciting team. And I think if there's one team that I would choose to say they could challenge the Tigers, it would be them. And those teams will meet this weekend.
And I think they are also sitting and waiting, and they are in the same situation as the Red Sox. Where is Jack Tani? Where is Jack Caglione?
Right.
He's seems ready. I think every fan has said, hey, he's ready. Get him up. And the Royals just aren't bringing him up yet. So they're waiting on that. I think that's going to be that kind of reinforcement that they could need. And I wouldn't be against seeing a Royals run kind of in June or July.
No, it would be fun.
To the West, we have Seattle, Houston. I think this one is more of an open book than anything. We're not going to see the Angels or the Athletics go on any sort of run here. But Texas, Houston, and Seattle, I think this is going to be very tight heading into September.
Mariners choke every year. Why would this year be different? Rangers don't look like they're there. I hate to say it's probably going to be the Astros again, especially when they get Alvarez back. They'll figure something out with their pitching. Every year they have 8 guys hurt in their pitching staff, and yet here's Hunter Brown and Cy Young frontrunner. Framber Valdez, Lance McCullers is back. They lose Ronel Blanco for the year. They only need, when you have a good front of the rotation, you have a few good starters. You only need 1 or 2 guys out of a big mix to step up and be halfway decent.
Yeah. To the NL East, Philly, the Mets. It really feels like they're going to be the ones to kind of battle it out down the stretch. Atlanta's hit a skid. They're 3-7 in their last 10 right now. They've lost 3 in a row. That you could look back on that in September and say, hey, why aren't the Braves in it? Well, they kind of went on a skid in May after they hit the gas, and they just really couldn't recover from that tough start.
They went 0-7 to start the year. No team's ever made the playoffs. There's probably a reason for that. You play really well to get back, but then you run out of steam. I think it's going to be I want to say the Mets, but they're just one of those franchises I don't trust. I think this is Philly, and I hope that it's the same thing I brought up last time. Philly wins more games each year. They win more games than last year, and they lose in the wild. Of course, if they do that and win the division, they can't. I guess they could lose in the wild card round if they still were the 3 seed. But I think the Phillies. I think with the way their starting rotation is, if they get some bullpen help, they could be really dangerous.
Yeah. To the Central, Cubbies, Cardinals. Is Milwaukee in that mix? They did just sweep the Red Sox, but I just account that to the Red Sox being inept.
I don't think they're in it. I'd still say the Cubs are the favorite. Cardinals are probably going to fall off a little bit. Chicago's really good. They're the highest scoring team in baseball. They get a little bit of pitching, figure some things out. They're going to be a team that can actually contend for the pennant, I think.
And to the West might be the tightest division in baseball, which you asked me at the beginning of the year, I'd say, it's going to be the Dodgers and then everyone else fighting for the wild card spots. But LA is making sure they keep it close. You have San Diego sitting at 2 games back, San Francisco at 3, Arizona at 7 right now, and then the Rockies at 25.
Yeah,
games
It's
back.
still going to be the Dodgers. We're kidding ourselves to think anything else. They actually just traded for Alexis Diaz, signed him to the minors. Evan Phillips is going to be out a while. I will say this, as much as it sucks to see them go out and trade for a guy who was a closer last year, he's not as good as Evan Phillips. So if they don't get him back, that's a big loss in their bullpen. But they also were without him in the World Series, and they won anyway. So I don't know. Dodgers can just figure it out as long as they have Ohtani. And if Ohtani pitches, oh my God. So
yeah, well, that's going to be a major problem because I would. Where would you put him? I would say it'd be. I mean, I think it'd be a closer situation, or start him as a reliever, and then maybe hopefully move him into a closing.
Yeah, like a dangerous swing man, the way that they used Dustin May and Arias in the bubble in 2020, maybe.
Yeah. I definitely think that's because you can get really creative with him because obviously he has the bat, so he's going to be useful. And then you kind of have he's a free pitcher. Think about it like that. It's a free pitcher on your roster. So, yeah, I'm actually really curious, and I'm a little excited to see how they use him. Obviously, I hope it doesn't work because the Dodgers, I don't want the Dodgers to win, but I don't want a repeat champion. But excited to see it. It's, you have to be able to appreciate baseball no matter what, even when it's the Dodgers. And then we're going to wrap it up. Give me your 3 series you're watching this weekend.
I'm going to say Tigers Royals is one because if we're looking to see any potential tightening of divisions, that's one we can point to because the Tigers have given themselves some separation. So that'll be that's definitely going to be an exciting series for me. I'll tell you, I'm not looking forward to White Sox Orioles, just in case you were wondering.
Oh man. Rematch from the Baltimore riots, right? Wasn't that when they shut down the stadium?
Freddie Gray series, yeah. Bad memories. Fanless baseball before 5 years ahead of its time. 2015. Yankees Dodgers. I'm not looking forward to it because I don't want to hear about the rematch and the rivalry and all that. But I know it's a possible World Series preview, so you can't leave that out. And then the third one, I'm going to say actually the Cubs and the Reds at Wrigley because they just put on one hell of a show when they played last weekend. I don't know if the Reds are going to push for a playoff spot. They're a game under 500, but they had some super high scoring games when they played over Memorial Day last weekend. They had it was a couple big comebacks in that series. It was a 13-6 win by the Cubs. And then I'm looking here, then it was 6-4. And then they had the Sunday game was like 11-8. So these teams can score a lot of runs. So I want to see the ball flying out at Wrigley Field when they get together this weekend.
Yeah. I'm looking at, I love that the Red Sox and Braves are like a rival for some reason. I mean, there's like the Boston Braves history, but like there's just nothing there. The Red Sox and Mets, I think, are bigger rivals just because of 1986. Rather than Red Sox Braves. But it's just, I think it's a good matchup. It's a classic matchup. Obviously, I'm a Red Sox fan, so I will be watching that. But outside of that, I'm going to say Cardinals Rangers, just a rematch, good rematch. Two kind of team, you want to see where these teams are at too, especially the Rangers. The Cardinals are definitely a better team right now, and they want to hopefully try and go in and win that series. Say, hey, we're not done yet. We're not dead. Tigers Royals, good divisional matchup. Twins Mariners. I think that's going to be an interesting one because I mean they're sitting right around the same record. Mariners are first place team, but they're just clinging on right now. And then the Twins have been really hot lately. I think we're going to see a good test. And then I'm not even going to mention Yankees Dodgers. Honestly, I'm not going to give it. I'm not going to give it dignity. I'm not going to dignify that series. I don't give a shit about them.
Yeah,
just boring. That's so boring. To me, it's not. I've seen it before. I've seen it a million times. I don't need to see it again.
See it again. So yeah, that's
yeah. All right. Well, I think that's where we're going to wrap it up. Athletics Blue Jays, Josh Donaldson Bowl.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Well, that's where we're going to wrap it up. I know that was short, but every once in a while we need a little bit of a break. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Go check out draftamerica.com. The NFL schedule video is coming at some point. I'm really sorry. I really apologize. Apologize to you, Mike. I apologize to the fans. It's just been crazy, and I just haven't been trying to get down to sit down and do it. And I don't like to put things out if I don't if I don't think it's to the quality of what I believe. And sometimes it just takes more time than that. So again, I do apologize. It is coming at some point. But you can go check out the full schedule at draftamerica.com. Go look at that. And obviously the video is a little bit more dramatic. But again, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you next week.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks.